the greatest photographer you've probably never heard of, Tony Vaccaro, who's 95, would be distinguished enough just for his striking images from the front line of the Second World War, where he served as a young GI. But in peacetime, he went on to have a second glittering career, taking portraits of the stars of Hollywood and the art world for glossy magazines. His first exhibition in the UK for 50 years is at the Getty Images Gallery, called Tony Vaccaro, From Shadow to Light. He talked to our culture editor, Stephen Smith.
Tony Vaccaro went to the war in Europe as a 21-year-old GI. The army told him he could use his camera, but it was his duty to use his rifle.
I shot and shot and shot, so I killed. But I don't feel guilty because I was an American soldier, and I was proud of being an American soldier. The professional photographers that followed the army, they were literally posing pictures of the war. Because I was always in front line, where I lived with the soldiers, that is one of the reasons I had the best pictures of the war.
One of Vaccaro's most haunting images is of his fallen comrade Henry Tannenbaum in the snow.
50 years later, I go back to this place, and now it's green. What was amazing is that the farmer who owned this land planted Christmas trees there. His name means Christmas tree.
Tannenbaum.
Tannenbaum. This is what's shocking about this story.
It's rather beautiful and
in a way,
totally astonishing, isn't it?
Astonishing and beautiful, you're right. War puts a heavy weight on you. So I found a way to think elsewhere.
The war-weary photographer found a world, and more importantly, a glossy magazine business, which was crying out for escape, enchantment, glamour. Vaccaro's second act was all romance, not least the day a famous starlet turned up early for a shoot.
At 9 o'clock, I was under the shower and I heard the bell. So I put a towel around me, thinking that it was the elevator man giving me the mail. So I opened the door, and it was Sophia Loren.
What was her reaction when you opened the door in your towel?
She took a step or two back to take a better look. And she said, Tony Vaccaro, always ready, sempre pronto. But to me, it meant ready for making love, not just taking pictures, you see. So it was very, I didn't know what to do, you know.
He shot everybody who was anybody in the art world. Peggy Guggenheim, Georgia O'Keeffe, de Kooning, Jackson Pollock, Picasso.
You know, I had a dream last night. It was interesting. I met Picasso in my dream, and he asked me in a dream last night. He says, I want to be a photographer, teach me.
Here you are, with your splendid camera round your neck. You must have noticed that everybody goes around with their phones now, taking pictures.
I think eventually they will go back to film.
Do you?
Because what's beautiful about film is the grain that you get in the picture. You see, when it's all polished and no grain, it's... So I like that grain.
With Vaccaro's first show in London in 50 years, people are discovering afresh the power of his work, documenting the terrible horrors and great epiphanies he's been witness to.
In Germany, there was a hole in the ground as big as this thing, filled with bodies. The Jews that had been killed by Hitler. And so, oh, I couldn't take it. I can't take it even now. And I go into Italy. I arrived at midnight, I go to sleep. Then I'm awakened the next morning, children singing. I opened the door, and from the window, I took this picture. How Germany of Hitler was hell, and I go to Italy, and it's paradise came to me, and that's what I called it. Paradise.
Well, that was Steve Smith reporting then. You can see Tony Vaccaro from Shadow to Light at the Getty Images Gallery in London. That's until October the 28th.